Okay guys, so this year I bought a 2004 Honda TRX450R for 500 bucks. Engine was set to the side. The guy that I bought it from never even attempted to get this thing together. It was how he bought it. So it was an absolute basket case. I did a complete restoration to it, as well as a bunch of performance mods and some mods just to make it look really good. Stuff from motor mods, suspension mods, wheels, graphics, and stuff like that. This video I'm gonna go over the entire expense sheet and show you exactly what I have into the quad and what you could expect to pay to build something similar. And you'll see it's it's not cheap. Now, if you didn't watch this series and you're interested in seeing this quad be built, there's a full video series where you can watch from start to finish all the problems I found, how I fixed them, all the repairs, and all the custom work, and actually building the machine. It's pretty sick. That'll be linked in the description below, as well as any of the products that I show in this video. I'll have them linked down below also. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what kind of build you've done and what it cost you. All right, guys, I've got my spreadsheet up here with all of the expenses. Now, this is going to be MSRP plus tax. So I didn't include any company sponsorships or anything like that. And this is what you could expect to pay if you actually wanted to build a similar TRX450R build. So we're just going to kind of go down the list here, and then I will show you the total of the parts for the build, and then we'll do the total after everything is done. So it's kind of crazy too. I didn't even realize it was as high as it was. I just got done tallying this up maybe like an hour ago. So we're going to start at the top. I have these organized from most expensive to least expensive. First thing is the clutch kit. That is by Recluse. Now that is their Radius CX 4.0 kit. That is like their most elite clutch setup from what I understand. So yeah, it's pretty pricey. Comes in at $1535.94. Now that includes the basket, the kit to attach your gear to the back, the inner hub, pressure plate, and the entire clutch pack. So it's a complete kit, and that also came with the Recluse clutch cover. So it's a complete kit, but yeah, definitely expensive. The next most expensive thing was the shock building service. That's done by Rocket Ron Racing. That is for taking the front shocks and the rear shock. He cleans them up. He extended the front shocks, did a triple rate on the front and dual rate on the rear, powder coated the springs to match the build, and he also included a long travel link for the rear. One thing I did want to mention for that, because I know people were like, oh, the front end's too low and stuff. I ordered those shocks in, I think, 18.75 inches, if I'm not mistaken. So unfortunately, I didn't realize that the front end actually calls for 20-inch shocks. So that's why the front end sits a little bit low. It kind of has that drag racing look. Some people actually like the look. And I think if I was going to do some drag racing, it would probably be awesome that way. But I think I'm going to go with some Elka Stage 3s. They come in 20 inches, and we'll just correct that. But this is for what's into the build as it was in the finale video, and that has the shock setup as it is with, it costs about $1,250 for that service, and that's you supplying the shocks. Next, we have the head porting and rebuild. That's done by Ocean Coastal Powersports, and it cost about 1,100 bucks. That is a valve job, porting. He didn't supply the cam, but he installed it all and shimmed it, and he also did the carburetor, which is a little bit lower down on the list, but for the head work and everything, it's 1,100 bucks. Next down the list is powder coating and ceramic coating. That's done by Bonehead Performance. It was around $1,100. The front wheels and rear wheels, I did them separately. I guess you could combine them. They're from OMF, and believe it or not, man, those are 450 bucks a pop. And I had a little bit of extra custom stuff done, so they were about 500 bucks a wheel. So the front wheels, 1,000, rear wheels, 1,000, 2,000 bucks in wheels, man. The stuff is not cheap, but OMF is the absolute top quality when it comes to wheels, and they seriously do look the best too. Then the next we've got the axle. That's the Durablue axle at $727.16. Below that is zinc and vapor blasting. That's done by Moto Blast. So that's all the zinc plating on all of the original hardware. And he did the zinc plating on a number of other components on the machine also. And then he also vapor blasted all the cases and everything, makes them look absolutely brand spanking new. That was 720 bucks. Then we've got the carburetor kit. That is an FCR carburetor that was supplied by OCP. The inside was bored. He put a custom intake bracket on the one side so that it fits up perfect with our OEM setup. He also jets it according to your setup. So it's ready to install pretty much. You know, you might have to tune it just a little bit, but that costs about 700 bucks from OCP. And next down on the list is the exhaust. That is a DASA full exhaust. It was $679.95. Got that on eBay. And then we've got the 97mm big bore kit. That is a 13:1 compression ratio. Cylinders by Cylinder Works. The piston is a CP. I got that through AZ Parts. I believe, and it was 650 bucks. Below that is the Honda plastics. They are all OEM, ordered them through Partzilla. The cost for those was $650. Misc OEM parts, that's just all kinds of random bolts, missing pieces and stuff. They all came from Partzilla. $635.88. Now there's also some other stuff that I threw in there just because if I listed all of the components, because Partzilla supplied a number of the aftermarket parts for this build also, so all the, like a whole bunch of little tiny stuff I just threw in that $635 pile. Next is the tires. Those are Maxxis Razors, $537.42. So if you have the tires and the wheels, it costs around $2,500 for the tire and wheel package, man. Phew. Shit ain't cheap. And below that, we've got a brand new crankshaft. Came right from Partzilla. That is a Honda, $472.70. The XCA arms. They are from Alba Racing. Ordered them through ATV Galaxy. They were $435. The heel guards and foot pegs, those came from DBR. $430. Those things came out excellent. Below that is the anti-vibe clamps. That's going to be the SBC 720 clamps. Those came from Hermosi, $399.95. Then we've got the bottom end bearing kit. Now I actually pieced my bearing kit together through Partzilla. I went through the entire schematic and added up each individual bearing. So they're all OEM Honda. However, you can actually order bearing kits and they cost around 380 bucks and it comes with all of the bearings and seals. I just wanted to piece it together and have it actually be Honda OEM. Below that is the billet adjustable throttle. That's from Hermosi. That is that custom throttle that actually is adjustable. I forgot to show that in the video, but you can on the fly adjust where the thumb throttle sits, which is actually really, really nice, especially if you have buddies hopping on and you know people have different size hands and stuff. They can adjust it on the fly so that it fits really nicely. Something that I discovered is actually, I think I'm a little bit spoiled with my throttles because in my next coming video on the Takati 4, the Kawasaki Takati 4, the thumb throttle sucks. And I think I'm just spoiled. But anyways, beyond that, we've got the graphics from Graphics Producer. That was 325 bucks. That was an all-encompassing graphics kit, and they had a custom, not pattern, but if you guys remember, they had like a texture on them. So they're super custom graphics. It'd be about $325. After that, we've got the camshaft. That's a Hot Cam Stage 2. That was $310.89. And then we've got a transmission. So if you guys remember, this quad had an absolutely roached bottom end, was run without oil, and there were a number of gears that the teeth looked worn, and the dogs were just chewed up, and the shift forks were wasted. So Jacob Brewer actually reached out to me, and he supplied a transmission. He saw the video, and he was like, dude, we've got a broken down engine here from a 450R. We're never gonna build it. If you need any parts, we're happy to send them to you. So I looked on eBay, and a used transmission seems to go between $250 and $400. So I put $300 for the transmission parts. The front bumper is Duncan Racing, came from ATV Galaxy. That was 300 bucks. CDI is a Rix CDI. $222.55. That came from Partzilla. The F3 levers, they are ASV and they came from ATV Galaxy. 210 bucks for the pair. Those things are not cheap, but they're super nice. Belly skid plate is a TM Designs. Now that wasn't really in the finale video. The reason I don't put the skid plate on is because in the initial process of dialing in the machine and just making sure there's no leaks, if you have the skid plate on there, it makes it a lot more difficult looking at the bottom of the engine. It can just be a pain in the ass. I'm not riding on any rough terrain when I'm doing the initial break-in and stuff, so I just don't put the skid plate on until all that stuff is done. Then we've got the chain slider kit. That is a TM Designs, 155 bucks. That came from ATV Galaxy also. Next up is the seat cover by Jet Trim. Jet Trim is a company I've never heard of before when it comes to seat covers. Apparently they're really big with watercrafts like wave runners and stuff like that. They have a really nice seat cover. I think it's one of the best quality seat covers I put on. I really like it. It's got that the hump seat in the back. I'm honestly kind of excited to see what that's like when you really start getting after it on the machine and the hump seat actually, makes a difference. After that, we've got the chain and sprockets. They are by Renthal. Those came from Partzilla, $133.63. The Easy Lift grab bar is by Hauser. That came from ATV Galaxy, 130 bucks. Next, we've got the handlebars, 672 CR low. That's the bend I went with. They're Renthal bars, came from Partzilla, and they were $128.73. Below that is the rear skid plate. That is a Moose, $121.77, and I will say, even though I didn't really showcase that skid plate either, it is super heavy duty. I've gotten away from the ones that mount to the sprocket and stuff. I don't have any hate for those things. I just think that the traditional plate underneath, a nice thick aluminum one or a steel one, man, you can smash off the rocks pretty much all day long and you're gonna be safe. I really like them. Then we have the steering stem. It is by Rock, 118 bucks. We've got the Airbox lift kit. Now, I am not going to be using, I didn't use that, so I'll probably put that on eBay and resell it, or I'll see if I can return it. But that was $100.09, if you can believe that. Nothing against it, I just didn't use it, but I have it on here on the expense sheet because I haven't sold it yet. So, you know, that's part of a build, is you order parts and sometimes you don't end up using them. Next, we have the stainless brake lines. They are by Streamline, 95 bucks. Bottom end gasket kit is a Honda, came from Partzilla, $94. Then we've got the brake pads, all balls, $93.72. That is the front and rear. The bolt kit is by Spec Bolt. Now, I didn't use all of the bolts from a bolt kit. Like, I didn't replace all the bolts on the quad. Almost everything was done by Motoblast. The original bolts had them we had them re-zinc coated, but there was a basket case and there was so much stuff missing. So that was like a generalized bolt kit from Spec Bolt. And it's excellent. If you're doing a rebuild kit, if Spec Bolt makes one for your quad, you should buy it, man. They're not that expensive considering how much is in there, and it makes it so that you're not constantly ordering parts. It's a really good thing to have. Then we have the front brake rebuild kit by All Balls, $67.43. Then the air filter is a Pro Design, came from Partzilla, $56.19. The ignition, brand new from Partzilla, is a Honda OEM, $53.88. Rear master cylinder rebuild kit is also a Honda, $52.54. Hood is a Quad Tech that came from Matt. Garage MC is his YouTube channel. He had that in his garage sitting up top, and man, if you guys remember what it looked like, it really did not look very good. It needed like pretty much a total restoration, but I only paid 50 bucks for that. Then the rear carrier is a CGC. It's one of those billet aluminum ones from, it was either Amazon or eBay. I've had good luck with those, so I just went with a cheapie. It's billet aluminum and bearings. So I pull up the shields off of the bearings and I pack them with grease. It gives them like the best shot of lasting super long, and you know, they tend to last pretty long for me. Of course, I'm a recreational rider, you know, I'm not beating the absolute crap out of them. But something that I did want to say about this carrier is that this brand, CGC, I mean, it's probably like a no-name brand. I actually had to put the entire carrier in the lathe and machine down about 1 millimeter. Like, it would fit in the carrier, but even without the bolts in the carrier pinching it down, you almost couldn't spin it. Like, it was not to spec. So I measured the OEM carrier and then measured the aftermarket one, and I had to machine it down. So just something to consider. If you've got a lathe, it's no big deal. Still get the cheap one, I guess. But I just wanted to mention that. The axle, the bearings, and all that shit fit in there, no problem, though. Then we have the swing arm rebuild kit. That's by All Balls, $47.69. The lug nuts are GPS. Those are those 70-75 billet lug nuts. They look really trick. $43.60. Case saver is by TM Designs, $42.95. Gusset kit is by DBR. I had to weld that in myself. Really pretty nice gusset kit though. $41.50. You can't beat the price on that. Front master cylinder rebuild kit is by Honda, $38.72. Steering stem rebuild kit, Pivot Works, $37.69. Front hub bearings, All Balls, both sides, $36.08. Rear brake rebuild kit, All Balls, $33.72. Throttle cable is by Honda, $33.41. Cam chain is Honda, $33.14. Then we've got radiator hoses. That was an eBay brand, WRC Rad. I mean, dude, they're radiator hoses. You can't really go wrong. $29.37. The kill tether is by Tusk, $27.24. Rear brake disc is, it was a no-name brand on eBay, 25 bucks. And you know what? I'm just realizing now I didn't put the front brakes, the front discs on here. So we're just going to we're going to add in the cost. Oh man, believe it or not, those front discs were $216.13. So we will add that to the $24.77. We've got $240.90 for the brakes. Whew. Man, that really, that changes things, huh? $240.90. Well, $240.90 for the brake discs. Then we've got the studs, the engine studs for the cylinder. I wanted to get brand new studs. They're by Honda, 25 bucks. Radiator guards are by Honda, $24. I had to get used ones. You know those little plastic fins that go in front of the radiator? I just got used ones off eBay because I don't even think you could order them new anymore. Grips are by Torque One. They came from Partzilla, 21 bucks. The billet stem clamp that was that big heavy piece of billet that red billet, really, really nice actually. It came from Nice CNC, $20.83. Clutch cable is by Honda, $18.61. Engine seal kit is by Tusk, $17.60. Gas cap is by Nice CNC, $17.27. The kill switch, the little button one, was by Whole Shot Motorsports, $13.73. Taillight is an aftermarket company called Mati. I've had really good luck with them, including this taillight, pretty good quality. $12.70. Service manual, I include that in there, man, because I had to buy it to do the build. Honda, I got that for $11.80. Now, if you were to do MSRPs, I would guess that's like $90 or something, but I got that off eBay from a subscriber, and they actually reduced the price after I bought it because they were like, dude, I love your channel and I want to help out with the build, and I got it for $11.80. Pretty awesome. Thermostat is a Caltric aftermarket company, a little cheapy, $9. And the water pump rebuild kit is by Mati. That's that same brand that makes the taillight. Again, I've had good luck with them. $8.22. I mean, you can't beat that. So, the total cost of parts alone. Oh man, you guys ready for this? $19,189.43. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing with my life. All right. Now let's go up here. The cost of the bike was $500. I bought it as a normal person, so you could go out and expect to buy a basket case 450R. You could probably get one for $500 to $1,000. So the cost of the bike added to the cost of the parts comes to $19,001, or cost of parts, I'm sorry. So the cost of parts is $19,189.43. The total with parts, $19,689.43. And then this black box here was for after, you know, I sell a bunch of the takeoff parts, which I have sold some stuff, but I haven't sold everything, so I didn't really include that in here. But yeah, the total cost to build this, the Dark Patriot 480R, the M480R, $19,689.43. And that is not including any labor whatsoever. So I would estimate, I don't even know, man. When I do these builds, you know, I'm not just building them, I'm filming them. And I would say that it takes about 3 times as long, 3 to 4 times, to do the work when you're filming it, and then I'm editing it too. So we'll just say 4 times. It's crazy, dude. And I would say, I mean, there's a good at least 200 hours just into the work. And if you did that times 4, that'd be 800 hours, which is insane. But let's just do 200 hours, like not include the filming. And if you times that by $100, like a regular shop rate, it's like $20,000 in labor, which is crazy. That would mean the total with labor would be like 40 grand. Just wild, man. But yeah, so if you want to build a TRX450R to this caliber, you're looking at about 20 grand. And I mean, you could make it even crazier. You know, we used a lot of economy parts on this. It's kind of like a mix. Some of it was ultra premium. You know, like we got the headwork done by OCP, the wheels by OMF, all the powder coating is top tier. Most of it was top tier. But I mean, you know, the XC A-arms by Alba, that was, not that they're bad, but they're $435, you know. We could have went with the Legers A-arms. I think they're like $1,500. There's a lot of stuff we could have gone even more expensive. So, same thing with the suspension. I mean, we got it rebuilt and redone by Rocket Ron. That was $1,250. You know, if you go with like PEP or custom axis, you might pay $2,500, $3,000 for shocks. We didn't, you know, could get an aftermarket swing arm. I mean, these builds can easily add up to $30,000 in parts, if not more. So it's wild, man. I appreciate everybody that watched this series. I can't do this stuff without you guys. And even more so, I can't do it without the sponsors. You know, a lot of these companies help me out with the builds. So I want to thank all of the companies that helped us out, especially Powersports Nation and Partzilla.com. I really just couldn't do it without those guys, and I couldn't do it without you guys. So I'm curious if you guys have done a build and tallied up what it cost you to do yours. Let me know what kind of quad it is and how much money you have tied up into it in the comment section below. I'm really curious to see if I'm on par here or if I'm just burning holes in my pockets, man, because it's a lot of money, man. So if you guys haven't seen the series, make sure to go back and check it out. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Appreciate everybody watching. Please give it a thumbs up If you enjoyed watching any of this, I will have a full build engine tutorial coming soon. And I'm also going to be taking this and we're going to do a performance review. We're going to take it to the little test track and see if we can get after it. I'm really excited for that. But yeah, guys, also don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.